Hey guys, welcome back to another video from Hoops Empire. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the Celtics' three-point heavy offensive scheme and what that means in terms of helping or hurting them to win that elusive Banner 18. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Obviously, the Celtics had a tumultuous offseason with their coaching situation, going from a rookie head coach to a rookie head coach. Lots was said about Joe Mazzulla before the season. The players seemed to like him, but we, the fans, the observers, didn't know much about him. There were rumors he was the true mastermind behind the Celtics' all-world defense last season. Others said he had nothing to do with it. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure we could have foreseen Mazzulla bringing to the table the analytical offensive style of basketball we have been accustomed to this season. By analytical, I'm talking about one very simple phrase Mazzulla has uttered.
Where we can get better is when we're not making them to shoot more.
The Celtics this season have truly lived by the phrase, live by the three, die by the three. The Boston Celtics are second in the NBA in three-pointers attempted, as well as three-pointers made. Second in both to only the Golden State Warriors, who have lived by the same motto for the better part of the last decade. But the difference between the Warriors dynasty and this current Celtics team is that the Warriors have two of the greatest shooters in league history, taking the majority of their three-point attempts. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are no scrubs and have elite off-the-dribble shot-making ability, but both are shooting below league average from deep this year. So, in such a three-point heavy offense, how does this fare for Boston, where your two best players have been subpar shooters from beyond the arc? Let's break it down a bit further. The Celtics are 6th in three-point percentage. Based on the fact that they're 14th in the percentage of their threes being unassisted, that mark looks even better. And just to truly show and accentuate that live by the three, die by the three mindset, the Celtics take 42.2 threes per game in their wins this season, hitting a staggering 40.3% of them. However, in their losses, they take 43 three-point attempts per game, an even higher clip than their wins, but hit just a lowly 31.6%. There is virtually no middle ground in the context of Celtics' losses this season. It truly boils down to, did they hit their threes or did they not hit their threes? Their 2-point percentage difference in wins and losses is only separated by about 3%. This really just goes to show how much Mazzulla, as well as his players, believe in the moniker he stated in that video shown previously. If you're shooting bad, just shoot more. It all ties into my point earlier about Mazzulla's analytical basketball mindset, and he very well might be correct. So let's do some math here. Let's say you take 10 two-point attempts and hit 6 of them. Great, you accounted for 12 points on 10 shots, shot a great 60% from the field. Now let's say you take 10 threes and only hit 4 of them. Same amount of attempts, but you made less. Yet in the end, you accounted for the same amount of points. Taking a high volume of threes, while potentially looking more inefficient in terms of makes and misses, in the end accounts for the same or higher accumulation of points relative to a similar amount of twos attempted. So yes, Mazzulla is entirely correct. Where the Celtics have a three-point percentage of 37.6 this season, that means they hit 37.6 out of every 100 three-pointers they take. They have a 2-point percentage of 56.2, meaning they hit that many out of every 100 two-point attempts. So for every 100 threes the Celtics take, it accounts for 112.8 points. For every 100 twos the Celtics take, it accounts for just 112.4. So at the end of the day, the points yield on a large scale for threes is just more efficient and effective than a 2-point shot. Now, I'm sure many people are upset by the volume of shots from deep Boston takes, but it's not like it isn't working. The Celtics have the second best record in the NBA, with a top 3 offense in the league. Clearly, Mazzulla is doing something right. However, in the end, there is still a point to be made about adjusting. If there's a game where you're shooting below your average from 3, maybe 32 to 35%, I can totally understand sticking with your three-point heavy offensive scheme. But when you're getting into the teens in terms of percentage, or even the 20s in terms of percentage, and you're attempting your average amount of threes, if not higher, you're setting yourself up for a loss. You're getting too far past the notion that a 3 is worth more than a 2, even if in principle it is. In the Celtics' 10 worst games in terms of three-point percentage this season, they still attempted 40.9 deep attempts in those games, not even 2 less than their average in a game. When it comes to playoff time, you have to adjust if you are 3 for 20 from 3 at halftime. Let's take, for example, Celtics superstar Jason Tatum. How many times have we sat there and watched Tatum be 2 for 10, 1 for 8, 3 for 12 from 3, struggling to find a rhythm? And then he goes out, starts driving the hoop, and out of nowhere, he's shooting 50% from the field and has 35 points. I think it's important to take note of a player-to-player aspect with this live by the 3, die by the 3 mindset. For Malcolm Brogdon, fire away from deep. Sam Hauser, fire away. Even Al Horford can fire away because at the end of the day, they are lower volume guys where overall their 3-point attempts are worth much more than 2s. But for a guy like Jason Tatum, even Jaylen Brown, how about a guy like Derek White or Marcus Smart, who are effective interior offensive players that can be prone to cold streaks from deep, while being high-volume shooters? That's where I struggle to entirely agree with the analytical aspect to coaching, if they are struggling. If Tatum and Brown entirely subscribe to the 3s are worth more than 2s idea, they're going to have some really high highs or some really low lows. And we have seen that this season with both of them. This is why adjustments matter. Being versatile offensively is important, because when things buckle down in the playoffs and you have a team studying you and game planning you for 2+ weeks, you have to be multifaceted in terms of your offensive game plan, or you're setting yourself up for disaster. I believe in Mazzulla. I know many have been on his case this year for a multitude of reasons. Whether it be the aforementioned volume of 3s, the lack of timeouts, or questionable rotations, I think he's done a fine job. His team is on pace for nearly 60 wins, a top 2 record in the league, the best net rating, as well as being the only team in the top 6 in both offensive and defensive rating, and they're top 3 in both. He's had an impressive year, and I'm excited to see what he has in store for us in the playoffs. But the answer to the question of the video is yes. I entirely believe that the live by the 3, die by the 3 offensive scheme that the Celtics have ran is conducive to bringing home that elusive banner 18. Thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a like if you enjoyed. But most importantly, have a good one.
Play hard, pay attention, and you'll figure it out.